What's going on, all you Transformers movies maniacs out there, brothers and sisters? I'm tired. Phat Samurai Guy is here with Lady Phat Blood and Phat Ninja. That's right, in the back. Joining us, we had a little bit of double feature today. That's right. We had
a lot of movies going on.
Yes, we saw Bumblebee and Aquaman today. And first up, we're going to talk a little bit about Bumblebee, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and a little bit about Aquaman, good and bad and the ugly. So first up, Bumblebee.
Are we doing spoilers?
Yes. Oh, really quick. All right. So for both movies, we enjoyed both of them. We highly recommend you see them. Okay, now, spoiler alert. We're going to talk about spoilers. Okay, here we go. Go! It's fun! Oh, boo, the light went out. No! Yeah, you got a permanent light.
You know what? Fuck these ads.
What kind of fan? What is this? This is professionalism we have right here.
You know what?
My phone's probably gonna go out next, so.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. I just, you know what? Fuck it.
I'll hold it. You want me to hold it?
It's just gonna keep going out.
Really? Mine doesn't do that.
Well, fuck you.
Oh, wait. We got some action here?
I don't think those are
No?
yours. Those won't probably stay.
Bootleg? All right, anyway. All right. So we'll bootleg this. There. All right, so first up we have Bumblebee starring Haley Steinfeld. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong.
John Cena.
John Cena. Hey, by the way, I'm tired of y'all putting in the damn comments, all right? You know what I'm saying? Say I keep sounding like John Cena, all right? I don't sound like John Cena, all right? I keep getting these damn comments. Do I sound like John? Do I sound like John Cena?
He can't see you.
No, be honest. Do I sound like John Cena?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't
I
see
don't know
it.
where that comes from.
I don't hear it.
Hey, somebody said that I sound like Uncle Phil. I'd rather take that. That's more of a compliment than John Cena. Time to go to work. I don't know. Maybe I do sound like John Cena. I don't know.
I don't think so.
Anyway, John Cena, and directed by the director of one of the most underrated animated films, Kubo, and the Two Strings. He directed that. Now he's directing this film, and we enjoyed it. Is this the best Transformers movie since the first one?
I think it's a lot easier to watch.
So it's not better than the first one,
Well,
but it's better
okay.
than the sequels.
All right. So my biggest problem with this film is that, much like the Michael Bay movies, we had way too much human, not nearly enough robots, and like I was afraid of, all of that crazy Cybertron Autobots versus Decepticon stuff that we saw in the trailers.
Oh, the G1 badassity.
Was literally just at the beginning of the movie with a little bit of a flashback in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really see anybody recognizable outside of those two scenes.
Right.
And that was a disappointment. I mean, I was expecting it, but it was still kind of like I was hoping the movie would prove me wrong.
Right.
The two Decepticon agents that were going after Bumblebee, they were generic as hell. They might as well have been plucked from a Michael Bay movie, except they still look more like robot than CGI vomit in the Michael Bay movies. But it's still like, who are these characters?
Right. You mentioned that. Did they even say their names?
I don't think I heard their names either.
Right.
No.
So I was disappointed with that. I was I said, I was disappointed that we had way too much human lagging stuff that I didn't give a shit about. But at the same time, I never felt insulted the way I did with all of the Michael Bay Transformers films. All 5 movies, I felt like somebody was slapping me in the face with their balls.
Literally. Devastator.
Exactly. I felt like somebody was saying,
Car Banks.
You enjoy this, right? You enjoy this, right?
The Witwicky parents.
Yeah.
And I can't say I would take John Cena over... what? Hey, Optimus.
Mark Wahlberg.
I don't know if I don't know, but I feel like
Cade Yeager. Nice name.
For who?
No, that was
Wahlberg's character
That was it.
name.
That was his name.
Cade Yeager.
Well, I forgot his character's name
There's no
already.
reason
It's so
to remember it,
ridiculous.
really.
Yeah, that is. Well, those movies are forgettable.
So that
Anyway.
was my biggest gripe with the movie. I was laughing my ass off, but at the same time questioning why anybody cast John Cena as kind of a villain in this movie at first. He was playing kind of the villain. And then after a while, I started realizing that this film was reminding me of an 80s. Now, just step aside from the fact that this movie is set in the 80s.
Right.
I didn't feel like that's what made it feel like an 80s film. It was the tone. I felt like this was a mix of, you had brought up Iron Giant, which I know was 90s, but it's still kind of, you know, a little bit of Short Circuit, a little bit of E.T., not that it's the same, but I mean that tone.
Similar tone.
Of a kid with, not that she's like a little kid, she's supposed to be 18, but a kid with a pet something, going on an adventure, loving each other, you know, like being there for each other, being best friends.
And the military doesn't understand.
And the grown-ups don't understand. The grown-ups are fucking idiots in this movie.
Right.
The parents are just like, oh, Jesus.
Otis, though, is the best character. I kid. Anyway, well, it's all right. He's throwaway brother character. Anyway, I was concerned about the boyfriend, the kind of boyfriend, because when he showed up, I was like, oh God, is this our Jar Jar Binks character for the film? Oh, am I late to the saving of the world party?
Don't be a nerd. Be a nerd. Don't be a nerd.
Don't be a nerd. So, but he was fine. He was okay.
He could have been much worse.
Yeah. It worked out.
We've had much worse in the Bay films.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
He had some charm, but he was really pointless. As a character. There's no need for
there really was no need for his character.
No.
We could have had the exact same scenes, the exact same situations with Haley, and he didn't need to be there. Even up to the finale, he really didn't need to be there.
Yeah, he got plucked away from the film, and he literally was like, he had an opportunity to get away from the military and everybody with the girl and with Charlie, was it? Charlie and Bumblebee. Yeah. And he goes, oh, you go, I'll buy you some time. He literally does nothing. Is able to do nothing. So he could have gone with them, and the same exact series of events would have happened, except he would have been dead weight in the finale. Right. So it was that was literally the only reason why he stayed behind, is because the movie kind of knew he was dead weight. So.
Yeah. Every time back to your John Cena-ism. Every time the movie would, you're watching the movie, and every time it would cut to John Cena, I just kind of started laughing. Like, I couldn't take his character seriously because all I saw was John Cena. And but
that was kind of what I was getting to. Yeah. If this movie,
there was a few funny lines they actually had,
and it was like, if this movie had been made in the 80s, he is exactly the type of villain that we would have had in the film. So I think
John Cleese from Karate Kid, I think, you know, Cobra Kai.
John Cleese?
John Cleese?
What's his name? I forgot what his name is. I thought it was Creed.
That's Monty Python.
Like, wow, I missed him.
John Cleese is in Karate Kid.
Cobra Kai Sensei guy. He has that same kind of like overbearing.
He's teaching them silly walks.
Sweep the leg. Yeah. Cobra Kai's teaching them silly walks. Wow.
It's okay.
Anyway, but so it did feel like an 80s film.
So yeah, at first.
But with take away the soundtrack and everything else, like you said, the tone felt like Short Circuit, old school 80s, right?
Yeah.
But was that bad?
I don't think it was, because once I realized that, whether they meant to or not, once I realized that was how the movie ended up, I was able to not take it so, like, I wasn't so hard on it after that, because I realized, this movie is for children.
Right.
Where the other Transformers films, they were for 12, 13, 15-year-old boys.
Yeah.
This movie, if I had been 6 years old when this movie had come out, I would have fucking been all over it. I would have been so obsessed with cars and robots and everything if I had seen this when I was little. So, and I think because it was still sincere at the same time in the story it was trying to tell, with her in the car, and the whole ending where she realized that she had to let him go because he had people that needed him. He had his people, and she was kind of getting over her issues with her dad dying and all that. And
Right.
she realized that, she had her family and all that. And them having to part ways.
It was heartwarming.
It was kind of sincere, where you never
There's
got...
a little more depth there.
Yeah, you never got any of that between Shia
base,
LaBeouf
yeah.
and Bumblebee. As many times as they wanted you to feel for
Right.
Shia LaBeouf and Bumblebee's relationship,
Yeah.
LaBeouf was simply too insufferable in all three films.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we may have loved Bumblebee, it
Right.
was just LaBeouf. His character was terrible.
The connection, like you were saying, the connection between Buff and Bumblebee, I think Bay was going for something similar to this film.
Yeah.
But he just
failing.
But we need more explosions and
upskirt shots of underage kids, underage girls, and
have
robots humping people,
and have 15-minute sequences where the boyfriend explains why underage marriage is
underage fucking.
Oh, underage fucking is legal.
Because they were fucking before he was
Yes.
before he was older.
The Transformers movie,
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Transformers, even though the G1 sequences, I was not expecting a lot of them, so I wasn't too disappointed that there weren't that many, because I kind of knew there wasn't going to be a lot, but Jesus.
If this,
It was good, but it felt a little too... this is the middle of the video game cutscene to me.
A little, but
It was-
we were fanboying out. Don't be trying to, don't lie. We were all fanboying out in the theater. Come on now.
when that's something.
Optimus Prime
and
jumping
that's-
through the air,
you
shooting.
even- you
Come
even
on,
fucking see
come on.
and I'm not,
Recognizable.
Inside, I was
Yeah.
like, come on.
I'm not even a fan of classic RC. I think her idea is stupid. Her look is stupid. But
Yeah.
for God's sake, she's up there
Yeah.
on the screen,
RC.
looking like classic RC.
Soundwave.
Getting
Who
to
else?
see
we got?
Wheeljack.
Wheeljack.
Cliff Jumper.
Yeah.
He got fucked.
You got to see Ravage popping out of
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting
Soundwave.
Optimus.
Yeah.
Shockwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to be able to see all that, which again proves, the trailer proved it already, we could have had this the whole fucking time.
I wanted to stay in Cybertron the whole movie.
And again, that's probably, again, my biggest flaw
Yeah.
with this whole movie was that we did more of the same that
Right.
the original films did that I didn't
Well,
want them to do.
When I saw the trailer for this movie, this movie gave me basically what I expected from the trailer. It was going to be heartwarming. Bumblebee was going to be adorable. Bumblebee was going to do a lot of funny things, and Haley Steinfeld was going to put on a good performance. So that I was not expecting the one-on-one robot fight choreography battle that we got at the end of the movie. I mean, we got Bumblebee doing a spinning back elbow, roundhouse kicks. I don't think, and you can actually see the action. You can
That-
see the fighting guys.
How many,
okay, this
how
is a
many
plus.
Times, how many times in the Bay films did you have robots
Cut.
robots fighting robots, and most of the time you could not tell who was fighting who,
Yeah.
what was going on during these fights.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly it's like, oh, you can actually, wow,
Yeah.
you can actually, it works. You can
Yeah.
do it, and it looks good.
Yeah,
This whole time.
the
our sixth fucking goddamn Transformer live action movie, and it took them this long to actually
Yeah.
be able to just do it visibly, and you can actually see it, and it doesn't make you want to blow your fucking brains out.
yeah,
It's more of a flaw with just American action movies in general.
Possibly.
right.
You know.
But that is a plus for you guys out there, even though it's not really a lot of action in this film. When they do get down, they get down, and it's pretty cool. So you get some good robot and melee combat, which I was not expecting. So that is a plus. Haley Steinfeld, the first time I saw her was in True Grit, the remake with Jeff Bridges, and
She was really young in that, right?
She was really young, and I was just like, who is that young girl? She's really good actress, and she's got a future. I'm like, man, I gotta keep an eye out for her and see what she grows up to be in stars and other things. And then all of a sudden I was like, where the fuck did she go? And she's starting all these like B movies or straight to video films. And I know you mentioned that she tried a music career, and I was like, well, that's unfortunate. She seemed very talented, and in this movie it was finally like, there she is. There she is. So she acts well. She does a very good job in this movie, and she has a few pretty dramatic scenes, and she carries the film. Now imagine taking her out and putting in a young actress that couldn't act, and we had to follow that the whole fucking movie. That would be bad.
We would have ended up with the Michael Bay movie all the time.
We would have ended up with Megan Fox. Are you aliens or something? So
We would have ended up with Dead Eyes from Part 4.
Dead Eyes.
Jailbait Dead Eyes.
Dead Eyes. Okay, so anyway. But yeah, I thought she was great in the movie. I mean, but yeah, you bringing up the whole that this is a kid's film, and I knew it was going to be a movie for kids, so I didn't mind it. I enjoyed the film. But there were a few moments in the movie where I was like, what is this, Beethoven? What is this?
They did
what is this?
and again,
what's those movies you hate from the 90s with the little kid?
The Problem Child.
Problem Child. Like, there were a few moments where I was like, what is this?
Very reminiscent. The score in parts.
Is that what it is?
The wacky hijinks.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent of stuff. And yet, in 2 scenes, you get a human getting blown up into goop.
Yeah.
I was surprised.
I'm confused with that.
But again, an 80s film would have done that.
Yeah.
That's true.
So at the same time, it's kind of like... very, very, very strange, this whole...
But back to John Cena.
It's a tonal mess. The tone is just kind of all over the place a bit.
Right, but getting back to John Cena, he did actually have a few... He was a throwaway character, but he did actually have a few funny lines like... We shouldn't trust these guys. For God's sake, the names they call themselves the Decepticons. Yeah. Hello, we shouldn't trust these guys. So that kind of made me laugh. Again, that is something out of an '80s film. So, but
well, except the '80s never.
They weren't that aware.
The cartoon was never that like.
Yeah, you kind of. I'm kind of getting a little vibe that you were disappointed.
No,
I'm kind of getting the vibe.
I wanted, what I really wanted was to, like, love the film.
Ah.
And instead, I felt like there was a lot of dead air, and the movie wasn't even 2 hours long.
As of the time that I looked earlier today, the Rotten Tomatoes rating was like 94%.
Right.
Which suggests a much better movie than... maybe what I saw.
I wanted this to be like not Star Wars A New Hope, but I wanted it to be a hope that the franchise could be back on track and could be good. But at the same time, I don't feel like this was an awful film. Like I said, if I were a little kid, I would have adored this movie, and I think that's going to be something for a lot of little kids out there, which is not bad.
But what could have made this better, though? Because if we added more robots and added more action, it would have been the first movie.
Except the robots would have been
recognizable.
Right.
And
you wouldn't have had
action would have been recognizable.
And you wouldn't have had so much, like I said, there's too much dead air in this movie. There's too much of wacky hijinks. Did we really need Bumblebee clowning around in the house, destroying it?
Yeah, because
that was a waste of 5 minutes. It's like, I love Bumblebee, don't get me wrong, he's adorable in this movie. He's so
I was
sweet.
getting concerned. Because we already had, at that point, I was getting a little concerned because at that point, we already had bumbling moments. So we already had the oops, boing. We already had that with Bumblebee, and it worked. It was funny. But then all of a sudden, we had like a lengthy, long filler. It felt like filler. 5 to 10 minute sequence of him bumbling in the house and playing with the coffee maker. And it was just kind of like, I'm sitting in the theater like,
just dead air. A lot.
Where are we going?
Did we have to have the stupid throwaway bully girls with the stupid guy, like, oh, let's jump off the cliff, and the girl's like bullying her, like, oh, why don't you have your daddy buy you a car? Oh, I forgot. It's like, and that went absolutely nowhere. It went nowhere. Oh, we're gonna TP and egg the house. Oh, we stomped the car, and then the girl yelling, Mom! Nothing. You never see any of that again. You could have cut.
They got revenge.
You could have cut all of that out of the film, and you would have been 20 minutes better for it, I think.
Okay.
That's
so you were fine with the film, but some stuff needed to be trimmed.
Some things needed to go.
Okay.
Some things were too reminiscent of the Bay movies, only with too many human shenanigans that I didn't really... I didn't care about anybody in this movie, but I at least found them more tolerable.
You didn't like Haley?
No. Yeah. I didn't love her, but she was... leaps and bounds tolerable, which is more than you could ever say for anybody in any of the Bay films. Like any character in any 5 movies, she's at least watchable above all of them, which is that's saying something. That's 5 movies of unwatchable characters versus her, which is like, I can watch this for an hour and 50 minutes. I'm fine with this.
Right.
So I didn't hate it.
Anything else in terms of what could have made the movie better?
even though the movie is called Bumblebee and not Transformers Bumblebee, a little bit more robot interaction, like say, Optimus and Bumblebee together, or even Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, because Cliffjumper has a spoiler death scene in the movie. And you didn't get any connection between the two. Like,
right.
Even Bumblebee's named like B-127 is like, he's like cannon fodder, but then why is he all of a sudden like entrusted with the most important assignment?
And why is he the only one without a proper name? Everybody else, Cliffjumper, Optimus Prime is still Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
You have all these characters that actually have, well, I mean, I guess those are really the only two that are properly named
in the movie.
But why is B just the B? It's like, whatever. That's a nitpick, but still, it's
just
like,
a little robot bonding on Cybertron would have done a lot to help, flesh out the world of Cybertron, the world of the Transformers.
I agree. I agree with that. Like I was saying earlier, like I didn't expect a lot of Cybertron footage, but it would have gained a lot more points for me if we did have more, especially. Like, what the fuck happened to Optimus Prime? It would have been nice to see what happened.
You see him get surrounded.
He got surrounded. There was no way for him to escape. And then,
he made it to Earth.
He somehow made it to Earth.
And he's fine. Which was nice. That scene, I don't know why they had to turn B into a fucking Camaro again.
Yeah.
Why did they have to turn him into another Camaro?
Oh.
That's stupid.
Okay, so...
It's like, we don't... Why? It's like... But anyway, seeing him ride side by side with old school, Optimus, that was really, really sweet.
Straight up, no flames.
The other Autobots coming down in the sky.
Yeah, when they're transformed into the robot form, you see classic G1 Optimus in fucking live action. It's like, oh, jeez. It's beautiful.
Nerdgasm.
Yeah, and that was a really nice touch at the very end.
So, just to let you guys know, the vibe we got, especially from watching the movie... This is not a prequel.
No.
So
I don't know, and that's all.
They're marketing this film as a prequel, but it's not.
Maybe there was just some misinformation out there, and just nobody's mentioned it because nobody really
cares.
cares.
The tagline is something about every saga has a beginning or some shit.
This is okay. Just
it's more like a reboot.
It's a reboot, guys. It's a reboot.
It's a reboot, except using. Obviously, we're still using Peter Cullen.
Yeah, it's fine.
And we're still using the Bumblebee robotic form that he looked like in the Michael Bay movies.
Right.
And they still look a little bit. They resemble more. They look like a really nice hybrid between G1 and the Michael Bay CG vomit that we got, because they still have a lot of the robotic, which is fine.
G1 cartoon versions, like updated with modern.
Yeah,
still looks better.
So it still looks like it could be within the same universe, but you got to remember, by the time the 5th movie came out, they had established something they pulled out of their ass that Bumblebee helped in World War II.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, this is okay.
Yeah. Bumblebee fought the Nazis, guys, and we're never ever going to go back and reference that again.
Yeah, this has nothing, aside from the designs, this has nothing to do with...
And don't forget the Dinobots in King Arthur's court.
Yeah, damn it. But Merlin the Wizard, come on, all this happened, all right? Anyway.
Yes, we've watched these movies, so you cannot say we haven't watched these movies.
Yeah, so this is a reboot because the whole Nazi thing is not there, obviously, because he lands on Earth.
In 1987.
In 1987.
And so then Optimus follows him not too far behind.
This is a reboot. And another example of this being a reboot, how he lost his voice.
Yeah.
So on Cybertron, you actually hear him speak. Mm-hmm. And then when he fights
in the Michael Bay movie, he just landed on Earth and his voice box got fucked up.
Right.
And then they fixed it by the end of the first movie, and then by the second film, he's
lost his voice again.
Because and they never
because
movie. Yeah. Whatever. But in this one, when he lands on Earth, another Decepticon lands, which we all were fanboying out. We all thought it was fucking Starscream, but it's not, which was disappointing. Damn it. But they have a decent little fight, and he rips out Bumblebee's vocal cords. So,
but that fight didn't make a whole lot of sense because he leaves him for dead. Yet he only rips out his vocal cords and just leaves him for dead. Like, it didn't
No, he
kill
tried
him.
to finish him.
He did.
Remember?
Like he
He
fell
tried to kill him.
down the cliff,
Yeah,
and then
but-
he did follow him. I guess.
No, Bumblebee blew him up.
No, I meant when he ripped out his cords and
Uh-huh.
he dropped him off. At first, I was thinking the same thing. You're gonna rip out his vocal cords, but not kill him.
Yeah.
But
Right.
then he fell down the cliff, and then
Yeah,
the not
it came
Starscream
after
character
him.
went after him. So I guess
Yeah, he picked him up to finish him.
you can.
And Bumblebee
He was
blew
just
him up.
being evil when he ripped out his vocal cords when he could have just killed him. Right
The
there.
not Starscream character,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
who clearly had the colors of Starscream.
He was a Jet, but
yeah.
whatever.
So, all right.
Supposed to be Blitzwing. Yes, I'm a Transformers nerd. I'm wearing an Optimus
it's
shirt.
a heartwarming. It's a heartwarming story. Families and children will enjoy this. We all found entertainment to be had in it, and if you're a Transformers fan, definitely go out and check it out. We do recommend it. Anything else? Positive, negatives before we move on to?
Star rating? Or,
Yeah, we're gonna just in terms of the movie reviewing it.
I think
Anything
because
else?
I think because they didn't have so many robots in the movie. When they had special effects, they looked fantastic, as
Yeah.
opposed to the fifth Transformers film where it just fell apart quickly. So at least the special effects were
Yeah,
what they should have always been.
right.
So that was nice. That was nice
Yeah.
to see. Mm-hmm. I think we kind of.
I want to since this is technically a reboot. I'm actually really excited for a sequel.
Keep these designs.
Because they keep those designs.
Keep
Let
it
us
going, yes.
go full action now, and the Decepticons land, not too far long after that, and we get our war on Earth. And I'm down. I don't even care if John Cena comes back again. It's fine.
He's kind of like a good guy.
yeah.
No, so it's like, okay,
Bumblebee
whatever.
saved his life, so he looks at him differently and lets him go.
For
He
those
does
who-
the salute, and
Yeah.
Bumblebee does the 80s.
For those
Breakfast Club.
For those who thought that John Cena should become Captain America because they saw him in this movie, what are you smoking?
Oh,
No,
God. Who said that?
Who seriously?
People.
That's terrible.
what?
Come on, guys.
John Cena.
It's
is,
horrible.
No.
But not the Marine?
No.
This movie, but not the Marine?
Never.
I wouldn't even say the Marine, but I mean, at least in that one, he's.
Fucking America.
That's terrible.
Fuck,
Can you imagine?
Fuck you.
Stop and think about that, guys. Don't just jump to, yeah, oh, he's perfect. No. Stop and think about it.
Fuck you. Captain America, fuck no.
America, fuck no. Yeah, so, yeah. That's terrible. Anyway,
Absolutely not.
fun, entertaining flick. Are we still.
Really quick nerd nitpick.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not completely sure about this, but there's a song that comes up in the Bumblebee movie. It Takes Two to Make the Thing Go Right, the rap song.
Yeah.
I could have sworn that was a 90s song.
I was going to say that. Wasn't that a 90s song?
But that's a nitpick.
Oh,
Boom! Movie sucks. Fuck it.
that's it.
Zero stars. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Are we still? Are we even? Can we say this is better than the other sequels after the first Transformers film, or we're just it's a reboot now? Fuck it. Let's just not
Well,
even.
if you want to compare, which you can,
Yeah.
you can compare anything to anything. But yeah, that's,
Yay or nay? Maybe you don't like this as much as the other sequels.
Are you serious? Okay. Let me put it this way: when we first saw the first Transformers movie,
It's still the best.
We had a magic spark.
It's still the best.
We had a magic
Yeah.
feeling going in and watching it in the theater,
Yes.
and then the theater shut down 15 minutes before the end,
very end, yeah.
and we had to go sit in a 2.5-hour line
Yeah.
to see another showing just so we could see the end fucking fight, because it's like you can't
Yeah.
take us to the edge.
Never seen special effects like that before.
Yeah, but I tried watching that movie again like a few years ago.
Right.
I couldn't finish it. So I will
been a long
say
time since I
this
watched it.
movie is easier to watch than any of the other
Oh,
Transformers films, because again, why? I didn't feel insulted.
Right.
You watch the first movie, it still feels. You feel dirty watching these movies.
Yeah.
The Michael Bay movies. You just feel like somebody's touching you in the wrong way. And it's just, it's uncomfortable. It's like, it's not fun. It's not fun.
Anyway, what about you?
The Bay movies, none of them minus the first one do I feel like I ever want to see again.
Right.
The first one I'd see again, mostly just fast forward through the parts that I like.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't know that I have the strong feeling of really wanting to see it again, other
Yeah.
than just to see it again once.
Right.
Just to kind of get a fuller sense of the whole movie as
Yeah.
a movie. But
Yeah.
like I like to see movies twice to really say I've seen that movie.
Right.
Because the first time you're just kind of surprised by everything, and then the second time it's like, okay, there's this.
And sometimes when you watch it a second time, you either like it a lot more, or you
Yeah.
like it not even close to what
Yeah.
you thought you did. Which
That's
is
true.
It's good to have that second, that second viewing sometimes.
But beyond that, like, could I be a fan of this movie? I'm thinking leaning towards no.
Right. Okay.
But that's just from this first viewing.
right. Right. But you were entertained.
I was
with
entertained,
parts.
but it's not one I'd really want to come back to.
Right.
I wanted more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted something a little bit different.
Right.
So-
Right. Right. I probably would have to say, after the first movie for me, it's better than the sequels. Bumblebee is. In terms of, like you said, rewatchability, I probably would have a lot of pain. Because I haven't watched the first Transformers movie in years. But in terms of, like you saying, forwarding to the scenes,
Yeah.
because even though the sequels are a mess plot wise and action wise, and they just get worse. There are a few battles that you can pick out from that first movie that you can actually see the action sequence. Do you remember that badass? The highway?
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That still looks fucking dope today, man. Yeah. You know, so the first movie, there's some good in there.
You had more options.
But after that,
which is always nice.
But after that, it just got worse.
And
their expectations were like, come on, man, we shouldn't be getting worse.
And Transformers: The Ride at Universal Studios is fantastic.
Yeah, go figure that shit out.
It is
the ride is awesome, but the movie sucked. Anyway.
I always get sick off of it, but it's a lot of fun.
All right, let's go with
the first movie gave us that fucking amazing score.
Yeah. Good
soundtrack.
Amazing
That's
theme.
right.
Amazing theme.
Yeah.
That this movie did not have, sadly, which makes sense because it's a reboot.
But they did throw in the "You Got the Touch."
They did.
You gotta throw that in there.
Which it made me smile.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You should have ended the movie with that, and that's the end credits. He's driving off. Come on.
You got the touch. I was trying to do the Pitbull version. Sorry.
Oh, God. We're going to get to Pitbull in a minute. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and wrap up a Bumblebee rating out of 5. Ninja Stars, what we got going?
I don't know. Ninja Stars? Are they Ninja Stars?
Stars.
Oh.
Out of 5 stars. What are you giving
I've
it?
been kind of teetering back and forth.
Right. As of right now, what do you feel?
As
What do you
of
feel?
right now, like I said, on its own terms, I was kind of able to forgive it for certain things. I think I'm going to settle for now at a 3.3.
3.3. Remember, 3 is average, so we're going a little bit above average here. Okay.
It's fun enough.
Yeah.
It's just not what I wanted.
Right. Okay.
Probably about the same, 3.5.
3.5. I'm going to give it a 3.5. 3.5. I enjoyed it. I was very entertained by it. It just needed a little bit more action, a little bit more. I don't know. It needed a little bit more. A little bit more to it, you know. And then would have got a little bit closer to a 4 out of 5. So, but 3.5, definitely above average movie. Very entertaining for what it was. And hopefully the sequel will just go full on kick-ass badassity now. Because now we've developed the main character. Now we can develop the other characters.
And we've proven
get to know can prove the designs work. Get to know these other Autobots. Get to know these other Decepticons, and let's get it going.
For the love of God, give me some Starscream and Megatron.
Yes.
There was no
Come
Megatron.
on.
There was no Megatron in this.
Yeah, I was.
Soundwave being the commander on the field. When does that happen?
Yeah.
But at least Soundwave and Shockwave, they looked beautiful.
Yeah, they looked good.
They looked beautiful.
But yeah,
no
at least one shot of Megatron was missing.
Nothing.
Like that was a little disappointing.
Not
right?
even a looking down on the carnage. Nothing.
And you know he's gonna sell the toys. So come on.
Yeah. So anyway, like I said, the sequel. If you guys are listening out there, filmmakers, go all out. Second one, go all out, balls to the wall. So, but 3.5 for me. All right, now we're gonna get into
Aquaman.
We go from heartwarming, a family picture to a total 180 here. We're just hell's a poppin', bonkers, the whole kitchen sink. Okay, this movie had everything. The whole kitchen sink is in this movie.
It even had someone getting their face stuffed in the toilet.
Yes, to survive, because he needed water. So, we were just watching the other day. We were just watching a review. What's his Ralph the Movie Maker, and a YouTube channel, and he entertains us. We'll watch him once in a while, not all the time, but we were watching his review of the Justice League. And in there, he was talking about there's too many cooks, and there's no real direction to the film.
They don't have their Feige.
Yeah, they don't have a focus. Someone that kind of, this is what we're doing, and that's it. And he brought out how, good movies in the past, usually they have a director that comes in and goes, this is how we're doing it, this is my vision, and that's it. And when studios get in there, they kind of fuck it up sometimes, which we've seen in the past. And but a lot of times we get lucky and a good director comes in, this is my vision, and we get something entertaining. And if not, entertaining, at least it's a consistent, like the Zack Snyder, if it was just his vision for Justice League, it may not have been the greatest film ever, but at least would have been consistent with the rest of the films.
A unified, coherent.
Right.
And that was one of my biggest gripes with Justice League, aside from it being Justice League and just being a total disaster, was that I would have rather have had Snyder's, even if it's gritty and ugly.
Yeah.
At least it would have matched up with his prior films that he had done, which was Man of Steel and BVS.
Yeah.
And it would have at least tonally made sense. But that movie, as we all know, is a clusterfuck. So what do? You've got the clusterfuck failure, box office failure that was Justice League, and you have this glimmer of hope with Wonder Woman. Some people, might disagree and that they don't like Wonder Woman. That's fine.
Yeah.
So at this point, Ben Affleck is out. Henry Cavill is out. The future of the DCEU is pretty much in limbo. We don't know what the hell's going on. The studio doesn't know what the hell's going on, and so they still have contractually obligated this Aquaman film that they have to do. So what do? You take a director and you say, you know what? Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, you get Aquaman.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's ridiculous. But at least it's consistently ridiculous throughout.
They went there.
Yeah.
And they stayed there.
Yeah.
And
you gotta applaud it.
They were not ashamed of going there.
No.
And just being there.
Yeah.
And if you weren't on board within the first 20 to 30 minutes, if you weren't okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're fucked. Because it goes completely more bonkers.
You want to see scaly seahorses?
Yeah.
You got scaly seahorses.
Yeah.
You want to see weird, shark crocodile creatures? The people are riding these things?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Now, I know you missed this part in the very, very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And it was actually effective for me.
Okay.
I have some emotions. I can admit it. I'm a male and I have emotions, all right?
Shame on you.
But
How dare you?
The early pre-title sequence.
Okay.
With
I came in a minute late, but a couple minutes late.
Yeah, between Arthur's father, Tom Curry, I think, and his mother, Atlanta. They show them meeting each other in the lighthouse and then kind of developing their relationship. Strangely enough, I bought that. It didn't feel forced to me. There's lots of love stories that's just kind of filler, no one cares.
Yeah.
This actually felt like, there's actually some chemistry I could feel between those two characters for some strange reason.
Yeah.
It was within the course of maybe 5 minutes or less, but I could feel like there was something there.
Cool. Awesome. That's a plus.
And
that's
then
awesome.
They bring that back in the end of the movie. Which
Right.
Is hey,
cool.
That actually kind of works.
Segue to the end. Cool. Yeah. But back to what we were talking about, or what I was mentioning, is with the vision. Like you said, James Wan, who mostly known for doing horror films, he had a vision. He's like, okay, I'm looking at all this comic book material. I'm looking at all this concept art, all these designs, and this is what I want to go with. This is what the soldiers are going to be wearing. This is the creatures they're going to be riding. This is what the Atlanta underwater is going to look like. This is the kaiju fucking creatures that show up later.
We have seven realms.
Yeah,
under the-
Yeah.
And every realm has a different species of
Yes.
of
dominant
Fish-looking people.
Yeah, you got regress that are like these
Right.
just mutated
Right.
whatevers.
Right.
the crustaceans, the lobsters.
Right. Lobster-looking people.
And they talk.
Crab people. Crab people. Sorry.
Yeah.
Guess that reference.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah.
That's clawful.
Oh. But anyway, some people, I'm sure, some people may look at about 5 minutes of this movie and be like, oh man, what the fuck is this B-movie bullshit? What is this B-movie, right? But the movie is consistent through the beginning to end. This is where we are. These are these characters.
Yeah.
This is what's going on.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Can I just also throw this out there? You recently showed me Solo.
Yes.
Okay, now watching movies like Solo and Justice League
Right.
and Suicide Squad, which are films that we all know have notoriously been just like mishmashed up because of all these reshoots. Some movies have even changed directors
Right.
in mid-production, early production, whatnot. It is, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Going along with our discussion of tone, it's refreshing to see a movie that from front to back, it's all its own consistent thing.
Yeah.
You don't get the whiff of reshoots
Right.
and studio interference and you can tell that our fan four stick where that chick's wearing a whole different hairdo.
Right.
You don't feel that in this movie, and for better or for worse, because some people are gonna have massive issues with this movie,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I don't blame you because it's weird, it's
Yeah.
fucking out there.
Yeah.
It's just nice to
Yeah.
see a movie that it just went off and did its own thing,
Yeah.
had no shits to give, and it stayed all the way it was supposed to be from front to back. It's exactly what it wanted to be, and
Yeah.
it's like I can at least meet you on your own
Yeah.
terms in terms of like
And like you were saying, the studio at this point, because the Justice League bombed so bad, and they're all just, please God, let us suck the teat of Wonder Woman. This Wonder Woman 2 coming out. Please God, give us another hit. The studio basically not giving a shit about Aquaman and letting James Wan do what he wants benefited Aquaman.
yeah.
I mean, obviously, just from watching this movie, they didn't give a shit. Aquaman, we did whatever, make it colorful, put comedy in it, throw in the damn kitchen sink. You want the guy to go dunk his head in the toilet? Fuck it. You wanted a fucking octopus to play drums? You hearing? Are you listening? Are you listening? Octopus plays the drums. If you're not on board with that, I don't know what to tell you. You can still try to go see the movie if you're curious. But if you're, we were enjoying ourselves the whole movie, laughing our asses off, just because of the ridiculousness of the film. But we enjoyed the ridiculousness. We weren't, like you said, we weren't groaning in terms of like we wanted to commit seppuku because of just pain, just like, when you watch this movie, it's like, you know what, it's ridiculous, but you can tell everybody's having a good time making this movie and just being crazy and out there. Everyone's having fun. Momoa's having fun. Amber Heard didn't make us want to kill ourselves. She was fine in her dialogue delivery. They gave her snippets. They didn't give her that much,
I still don't get it.
Well, what?
I don't get her.
She's hot.
I don't get her.
She's hot.
So is 90% of the population in Hollywood.
But she's just the person they wanted to play Mara.
I don't understand her. I don't understand the point of her.
So she's the new Deadeyes. Anyway, so do her and Momoa have great chemistry? Not really.
No, not really.
Not really. But thankfully the movie doesn't focus on that too much.
Momoa and Henry Cavill in real life have better chemistry. Look it up. It's adorable.
But like I said, the movie throws in everything with the kitchen sink. You're gonna have kaiju monsters, creatures, a little bit of horror, a little bit of comedy, a little bit of romance, a little bit of everything. We got a big, huge, massive battle at the end that you said it was Star Wars Episode 1 done right. And just, this is the story. And yet, you said you could still follow what's going on. Even though this movie's like scene by scene.
It moves.
It's like boom, 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 boom. Like it's like, whoa, okay, we're here now. Whoa, who's that? Okay, whoa.
There's a big journey you go on throughout
Yeah.
this movie. It's not just like, hey, it's all the same movie.
Yeah, it's like they crammed
different things going on.
the Throne of Atlantis, graphic novel obviously is the influence here, and they crammed a lot of that in there.
For a while, for a little bit, I was concerned that we were going to have, well, we did, and I was concerned that we had two villains. We had Ocean Master and Black Manta.
Right.
I was really worried about that because in a first-time solo film for a hero, you don't want two baddies going after them. And luckily, I thought, ultimately, I was like really scared, but then I felt like in the end they kind of pulled it off because Ocean Master was the primary villain.
Yeah.
Black Manta only really showed up during that one scene, and
he was
when
really
they were
just
in
using
when
him.
they were in Italy.
Right.
But they also made it to where he has a more personal connection
Yeah.
to Aquaman because of a decision that Aquaman made that got Black Manta's father killed. And so but they also made it so that at the very end he's going to come back. And if they do make a sequel, we have a built-in villain with a good motive,
Yeah.
which is good. So we don't have to sit through another
That isn't
villain.
just a dark mirror of the hero.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we don't have to sit through the villain's origin in the next film, which is a good thing. I think it could have gone really, really bad having those two elements in the film, but
Right.
I think they pulled it off pretty well.
Yeah. Octopus plays the drums. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Under the sea.
Nicole Kidman's face doesn't move because of all the work she's had done. She's not human anymore. Sorry.
She's brutal today.
Sorry.
It's not that bad.
It's hard.
But,
It's hard to look at.
yeah, it's noticeable, but
It doesn't move.
Yeah.
Her lips don't move. Nothing moves. It's like Cavill's upper lip in Justice League. It doesn't move.
Oh, shit. But anyway.
Nothing. It's all just.
Anyway.
Yeah, I just.
Elements of Thor, elements of Superman, a little bit here and there. But it's the whole story. I don't want to be king. Bad guy wants to be king. Take over, lead Atlanta up on Earth. He wants to team up with Dolph Lundgren. So that was a bonus. We had Dolph in this movie. That's right. Drago was in this movie. So that means Dolph had 2 movies this year. Mainstream movies. Successes.
Yeah.
That's right. He's trying to. Obviously, it was a plant all the time. He used Black Manta to attack the Atlanteans, and the surface dwellers are attacking us. See, we must fight. So betrayal and all that good stuff, and
That's Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson as Orm, Ocean Master. So he's trying to lead because he's the rightful ruler, and Aquaman is just a half-breed, which I thought was hilarious in their fight when they brought up the cards.
Yeah.
Their first fight.
The little info cards.
Info cards, and it said half-breed for Aquaman was hilarious. Well,
and there's pros and cons, and there's no pros.
See, little things like that. I mean, come on. They're not being too serious here. They're having fun. But then, he does find the magic trident. That's right. Tames the ultimate evil kaiju. And shenanigans happens, and we have our big, huge battle at the end. He defeats Orm, and he becomes the new ruler of Atlantis. But what I found interesting was the very end, when the mother showed up, and Patrick Wilson was like, whoa, mom's still alive. Mm-hmm. They embrace, and then William Dafoe comes around and takes him, Godspeed, Spider-Man, takes him away to the ocean prison. Yeah. And then they have that little quick dialogue while he's walking away. And Jason Momoa goes, when you're ready, let's talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. Yeah. So are we going to have some kind of bonding here in the sequel? Because he did kill a lot of people. Are we going to have a Thor and Loki type relationship? Maybe that might happen in the sequel? I just thought that was odd because it wasn't needed.
Hey, superhero movies, you don't always need to kill your villains.
Yeah, thank God. But yeah, Ocean Master looked pretty dope with his helmet on at the end. But let's get to the plus here. So this movie's hell's a-poppin', the kitchen sink. All right, you're gonna get everything. All right, but one of the main highlights for me, right? Phat Samurai Guy, and Phat Ninja, and Phat Blood here. One of the main highlights. Okay, yeah, the movie's pretty much 80% CGI, but I gotta forgive it a little bit because it's fucking underwater world, guys. All right, it's underwater world. How else?
I don't know if you noticed it when they showed.
Are you gonna do this?
When they showed close-ups of people's faces,
Mm-hmm.
you could still see the water kind of messing with the camera a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was kind of interesting.
They gave them, when they talked, they kind of had a little bit of an echo kind of thing. They didn't just talk normal.
Yeah.
Underwater.
But the fading in and out, like you're underwater looking at them. You're not just in air. You're looking in water. And
it's hard to do shit underwater.
Yeah.
Their hair flowed pretty
Dolph
good.
Lundgren's hair, it didn't look fake to me.
Yeah.
Even though it had to be fake.
Right.
It didn't look fake.
Right. So, I mean, for the budget that they had, I thought they did a good job. But, back to the highlight is the action.
Yes.
And how it was filmed, guys.
Yes.
Where the fuck did this come from? Like I said, James Wan, known to be horror director. This is not Justin Lin, okay? James Wan, known to be horror director, and all the fight sequences that was actual, people, you get the CGI fighting, which is fine because it's a superhero movie, you gotta have it, right? But when you break it down and you see the stunt people doing their thing, the camera work, where the fuck did this come from? You could see the action. He got creative with different camera shots. We had some tracking camera, tracking the action. Like, wow!
The Italy,
where the fuck did this? It's awesome, guys. I'm telling you.
The Italy rooftop battle scenes were great.
Yeah.
And
the guy running through the walls, chasing Mara using the wine to fuck up the because she can change, the water. She can make it into blades because the character is very deadly.
I haven't played,
in the comics.
I haven't played the Uncharted games yet, but I felt like it probably took a lot from those.
The Uncharted games? Yeah, a little bit. But, I mean, just like the filming of the opening action sequence with Nicole Kidman fucking up the dudes that came to the lighthouse, filmed beautifully. Yeah. Where the fuck did this come from?
Nicole Kidman's stunt double does a very good
job. Yeah.
It's not her.
As well as Mara's. As well as Mara's stunt double. But yeah, even Aquaman versus Patrick Wilson, when they had Trident versus Trident fighting before, the CGI enhanced it. But it's filmed great and good fight choreography. Yes, like this is what I was just like, whoa, like wow, like that really, I really was not expecting that, and that caught me off guard. So overall, guys, I know, Justice League has set the bar really low, but I still think it's kind of bad when an Aquaman movie is better than your fucking Justice League film. So for all of you out there that are bashing the Aquaman movie, I get it. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you think it's just a B movie with horrible CGI and it's a mess, that's fine. But for us, it was ridiculously entertaining throughout, and it is better than Justice League. That's pretty bad. So if you were wondering, because I know some people were like, man, this is Aquaman. It can't be better than Justice League. And Justice League was shit. It's better than Justice League, guys, okay? Well assured. So the DCEU, in my opinion, has another good, fun comic book movie on their hands. Wonder Woman being the other one. That's pretty fucked up. But, I mean, it's a win, and I think it's doing well. I know it's making a lot of money overseas in China. Yeah. It's doing well, so...
There was another movie that got thrown...
Who knew? Aquaman!
There was another movie that got thrown in the conversation about feels like a 90s movie.
Yes.
Venom.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It felt like the bad 90s movies, Venom.
Yeah.
This felt like a good, with budget...
Yes, with budget.
Movie.
Yeah, it did. Bumblebee felt like 80s, and this felt like the 90s. That's what I leaned over to him. I was like, dude, this feels like a 90s movie. 90s superhero movie, but with budget.
Like it actually, to me, was feeling like one of the better episodes of, say, the Arrowverse. With even more budget.
Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. But yeah, it's ridiculous, you guys, okay? They're not taking the movie seriously, guys. They're just having fun in the world.
With drums.
Octopus with drums.
Do you want to talk about Pitbull?
Oh yeah, so fuck Pitbull. I know this might sound bad, it might sound insensitive, I'm sorry, but I kind of have to use this example, but Chris Cornell killed himself. But we still have Pitbull around.
Mr.
Okay?
Worldwide.
It's kind of fucked up, all right? Because that fucking song that was in this movie
Garbage.
is shit.
Garbage.
Okay? What was it, Toto's Africa?
Yes.
Fija, he done fucked it up. He fucked up that song. And I'm not even a huge fan of that song. I think the song's fine. She grew up with it. She likes the song. I'm okay with it. But that was garbage. That was garbage. And what the fuck was that doing in an Aquaman movie?
It didn't fit in whatsoever.
Because they were going to the Sahara Desert.
And it's in Africa.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the best you got.
So fuck Pitbull. Yeah. So yeah, he needs to go. He needs to go. So anyway,
if you're in the club and listening to Pitbull, okay, whatever. Go live there.
Go live there. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was a huge negative for the movie. That was terrible. Anything else we need to add to the film?
Visuals, freaking outstanding.
Yeah.
There's stuff there that you haven't seen before. Like you were saying, the camera work, just great, pretty much all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's things in there that you haven't really seen on camera. Like there's maybe Valerian kind of pushing visuals or something like that, which I still haven't seen. But
Right.
just the ridiculous CG going on. I like movies where you haven't seen this before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and like the lobster people.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous concept, and you just haven't seen it before.
And
they put it to film.
Yeah, and Aquaman and Mera loving each other because they're both hot. That's their only motivation. Yeah, not necessarily the biggest positive, but luckily we didn't have too much of that, and that wasn't the focus of the film, thank God, because we had octopus playing drums! All right, battery's running out. Any other positives and negatives? No? Rate the film. Go.
Why
Rate the
is it
film.
always me
Rate
first?
the film. Ladies first. Go.
Okay, this movie was dumb,
Big dumb fun.
but it was that perfect kind of fun dumb that
Yeah.
I enjoy. Again, I don't feel like this movie was trying to be anything serious,
No.
which I think the Snyder films took themselves too
too
seriously to their detriment. This movie did not do that even remotely. I felt like this movie was itself, for better or for worse, and it's exactly what it wanted to be. It did what it set out to do. It's really stupid, but I still enjoyed it because it was reveling in just how ridiculous it was. You don't really get movies that are just like, hey, look at me, I'm an idiot, and I love it.
Yeah.
So, as of right now, it's subject to change if I ever watch it again. I'm going 3.5.
3.5, above average. I remember we were walking over to the car. What did you say about Bumblebee? Is that something you
Yeah, so with Bumblebee and Aquaman being released the same time and us seeing it at the same time, pretty much, I was expecting to like one more than the other.
Yeah.
I ended up liking Aquaman much more than I thought I would like it, and in comparison to Bumblebee, especially with the Rotten Tomatoes we're seeing, numbers that we've been seeing, so I'm
Aquaman's way lower than Bumblebee on the tomato
yeah,
meter.
it's like 60 something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
and Bumblebee's like 90 something.
yeah.
So
I would push. I would push one up. I push that down a little
Yeah.
bit to kind of mean more. Like
so
90%. I don't get that.
So Aquaman for me, it's probably closer to the 4
Yeah.
range, 4 stars. I would see it again.
Right.
Like I want to see it again, just get the sense of the film again. But also, I feel like I could come back to it
Yeah.
at least a few more times, far more than Justice League, of course, and actually more than Bumblebee.
So you're giving it a 3 point.
I give it a 4.
Oh, shit.
I give it a 4.
Wow, 4.
Yeah, that could change.
Octopus playing drums gets a 4, guys. All right.
That could change over time, but right now, just first view, yeah, there's nothing I didn't enjoy
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
There's things that were maybe not perfect, but
Right.
there's nothing I didn't feel was like, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Cool. If it didn't have the awesome camera work and fight choreography and
That would feel
stunts
great,
in the some of the action sequences, my rate, I would still have enjoyed the film. I thought I still would have had fun with it, but the points would be lower for me. So I think without that, I think I would have given it a 3.5. But with that, and just enjoying the ridiculousness of the film and just having fun, I'm gonna go 3.9. So just a smidget below your 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 3.9. But the high 3 is very good. High 3 is still good.
If I really had to nitpick the movie, the Pitbull song,
That's what gave it the 3. That's what gave it the point down.
Yeah.
All right.
and maybe a little bit of Momoa being like just kind of jerky and gross when he doesn't need to be.
Jerky gross.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Like you could have peed on it. It's like, okay.
That's manly talk. You know what I'm saying? Manly talk. Guy bro. Football. Cars.
America.
But yeah, 3.9 out of 5. I enjoyed it. Definitely recommend you guys go see it. If you guys want to see a fun, ridiculous, turn your brain off superhero movie, but yet doesn't really insult your intelligence because they're all it is what it is. Max Holloway, that's right, UFC fighter champ.
Oh,
Go Max. Come on, we're keeping it Polynesian.
Gotta support the
We're
brothers.
keeping it Polynesian. Got to support the brothers.
the bros.
I don't sound like John Cena. Damn it. I'm going to get all these comments below. He does sound like John Cena. Fine. We love you. We all love you. Fine. All right. Anything else before we roll out? Autobots, roll out. Anything else?
A triple feature.
Are we going to get an Aquaman sequel, you think?
I don't know. I don't think that the studio would trust this much again.
Okay. If it's a big hit, though, maybe. No?
Yeah, I still see them trying
You know,
to put their
Yeah.
grippy hands
You know,
on
that's what's going to happen, guys. It's going to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then, for the sequel, studio's going to go in and take out the octopus playing the drums.
Just like
They're
Wonder
going to fuck
Woman.
it up.
just like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman did well on its own.
Yeah.
And what happened now? It got pushed back like a year.
Oh.
That does not happen when something is being trusted to
Right.
someone
Right.
to push it back a year.
Well, fingers crossed. That's all we can do with these comic book movies.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. But we'd like to thank all you guys for fucking watching. You guys fucking rock. Fat Samurai Guy, Lady Fat Blood. You always make fun of me in my outros. Fat Ninja. That's right. And that's how you know your boy John Cena sounding Fat Samurai Guy represents. That's right. I wear fucking John Rambo shirt to a Bumblebee movie screening. That's how I roll. All right? Keeping it badass. I'm a knucklehead. All right, I thank all you guys for watching. You guys rock. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.